We are learning new details after the bombshell report on altered intelligence regarding ISIS, which says top Pentagon officials may have been cooking the books to make it seem as if the terror group was less of a threat. Joining us now with some exclusive information on the scandal is retired Brigadier General Tony Tata. So, can I call you Tony?
Okay? You sure may.
Wow.
Can I call you Jesse?
You can call me whatever you want. Water's World, actually. So what we know is after Obama retreated from Iraq, and we saw the Arab Spring, we saw genocide, we saw the president say that this was the JV team, and him constantly downplaying the ISIS threat. You're saying that there's a reason why the president was so detached from the reality on the ground with ISIS.
Yeah, so there's chaos all over the Middle East. You've got the Syrian civil war happening. You've got President Obama's timeline. You know, he campaigned on getting out of Iraq, so he didn't want anything counter to that narrative. And what you have is mostly good, hardworking people, majors, lieutenant colonels, civilians in Central Command saying, Houston, we have a problem. This is not how it's being portrayed right now. And so there was this meeting, and one of my sources tells me that this individual was told by the president's briefer to not provide product of record, as it's called in the intelligence community, that is counter to the narrative that the president is putting out there, that everything's great, we're out of Iraq, high five, let's move on. And meanwhile, it's pretty obvious to the casual observer. You got the Arab Spring, you've got the Syrian civil war, and so now what happens is they're told by the president's briefer, who works in the office of, you know, the director of national intelligence, and that individual then is telling the CENTCOM, don't give me anything on the record, make a phone call, secure phone call, which is not traceable, which has no record. If you have any bad news for me, that's counter to this narrative. And so we actually turned the other way because of that. And then 2 years later, we have a problem, a real problem. ISIS has grown. They're a formidable force, and that 2 years allowed ISIS to take root. So that's the real issue here that really is stemming out from these whistleblowers in Central Command that are really more worried about their country than their efficiency reports.
Yeah, they don't treat whistleblowers very well in this administration. Greg, question?
Can I call you General?
You can call me whatever you would like, Greg.
Basically, this is reverse deletion. And
right.
I mean, the thing is, isn't this what everybody is going to be doing now? Instead of destroying damaging evidence after the fact, you prevent the damaging evidence from ever occurring. Sure. I think that this is the way. This is what people are going to be doing in the age of leaks and everything like this. And it's not illegal. It's just what people do.
Well, it's highly irresponsible for a senior official like this to say, look, do not give me anything that's bad news, because we're trying to portray that this exit from Iraq is the right thing to do in the face of chaos going on over there. And now we've got a real valid national security threat that was born out of this directive to Central Command, and the people that are there that are whistleblowing are being reprised against.
Are people dying from this? Do you believe?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The people burned in cages are dying from this, and meanwhile you have good American soldiers, sailor, airmen, Marines, and civilians that were in the Central Command intelligence that are being isolated and targeted by people that are in the J2 and CENTCOM and previous folks that were there as well.
Do you think any of them have been prevented from getting a promotion?
I think they've been run out of the service. One young lady spent $140,000 on legal bills. Who's got that kind of money to defend herself against this kind of thing? She ultimately won, which is, you know, a story that nobody's talking about either. So she'll recoup that money, but her career is shot. And so the reason you're not hearing a lot of people come out is because, you know, they have families, they have careers, and these people in the CENTCOM J2 are hammering and targeting. The good news is General Joe Votel, who is the Central Command commander as of March of this year, has brought in Major General Dave Quantock, a high-quality, classy individual that's going to right this ship, and Joe has given Dave a mandate to fix this mess.
Well, I think Democrats on the House Intelligence Committee, I'm thinking here of Congressman Adam Schiff, have said that there was an insular environment that led to this. Now, the news here that you're bringing is there's some connection that would lead you toward the White House. And that's where I have a question for you, because it's clear from the description of events as you portray it that the White House was getting the information that there was some negativity. If there is negativity, tell us, but they didn't want it on the record. So that's a distinction I wanted to emphasize and see what you thought.
Yeah, Juan, so you can imagine how that's going if you're the president's briefer and the president's saying, wait a minute, you just told me, you know, we just left Iraq and now you're telling me things are bad. And so it could have been the president saying, don't tell me this, or it could have been the briefer going back after, you know, a rough meeting saying, hey, look, don't give me any more of this stuff. I don't want to bring it to the president. So, and, you know, I'm not in that, but my source was the next guy to get the word. And that is, you know, legitimate what happened there.
General, it sounds like there was a protocol for going forward that nothing would hit the president's desk, foreign or domestic, unless it was sort of vetted, cleared, and no record of it to meet and match the president's expectations.
Kim, only if it met the president's narrative that things were great, the Iraq exit was the right thing to do, that kind of intelligence, have product of record, send that up. But if it's counter to that narrative, don't send it up, don't produce it, don't give me a chart, don't give me a memoranda, don't give me a link diagram that shows that things are bad and not consistent with what we're saying.
But things are cleared up now.
I wouldn't go that far, Juan.
I think that's what he
Count
said.
the bodies. It sounds like that directly contravenes national security and America's interests and assets in the field. It causes a loss of life, casualties.
Well, today, people are being reprised against in Central Command, and the whistleblowers are not having a good life even
Like you
today.
said, people have died from this. General, thank you very much.
Thank you.